got to have your mind right, because that's where it all starts, between your ears. Win the morning. I think your morning routine is really important. Like, what do you do when you wake up? For you, it might be gratitude journaling, or it might be meditation. But I think starting your day off right is great. Try to take a first step, whatever it may be, like you're doing, like I'm doing, like we talked about, your journey, my journey. Don't be afraid to do the thing you want to do. If you want to start a podcast, do it. Like, especially if you're young, like, dude, just do it. Who cares if you mess up? Like, it don't matter. Like, it didn't cost you much to start the podcast. You got your mic, you got the setup, and you're good to go. Like, don't be afraid to take a risk. Like, for sure, you can just learn a lot about yourself. You'll get uncomfortable, and it'll pay off. Just go out there and get after it, as Goggins would say, right? Get after it. We all have time. It's what do we choose to do with our time?
Welcome to the dumbest guy in the room. I'm your host, Bill McDale. Today, I bring a guest on that I probably haven't seen since about high school, probably due to the fact that I chose to dedicate my life to alcohol and drugs, and the guest I have on today decided to dedicate his life to health and fitness. So today I bring you Pat Bryan. How you doing, Pat?
Good, man. I'm excited to be here. I'm happy to see you doing well, honestly.
I mean, just doing as good as I can, I guess, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we're all doing today. So tell me, dude, like, growing up, man, like a lot of the people that we grew up with, including myself, went down a very unhealthy path. And that's mental. A lot of it is mental. But what motivated you and what got you to kind of divert from that path at kind of a young age?
Yeah, I mean, my dad was definitely hard growing up. That's a lot of it. My dad was strict. He made sure we went down the right path. My brother was kind of a good example for me because he went down a little bit of the wrong path. He's doing great nowadays, so which is awesome. And I kind of got to see him make some mistakes. So being the youngest in the family definitely helped a little bit. But eventually, I think, when I got to high school and I got into sports and was playing baseball, basketball, football, that was kind of the things that kept me out of trouble. And then fitness kind of went along with that, especially when I stopped playing sports in like college. When I got to college, and I was like, now what? Now what do I do? I had to kind of fill that gap. So health and fitness was my way to go. I feel like.
All right, when it comes to fitness, I know like I played sports, dude, and again, it wasn't I guess I didn't love it enough. Whatever it may be, I guess I love the look of, I guess, being cool more than I did what I actually truly like to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So when it comes to after sports and getting into fitness, like if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got into bodybuilding first, right?
Yeah.
Like, was that your?
Yeah. So down that path, and what you're asking about is definitely more. And you kind of mentioned earlier, like, was a mental thing for me. So growing up in high school, I had really low self-esteem, stemmed for a couple of things, but honestly, and kids go through this all the time, but my face had a real bit acne, like growing up in like high school back in the day. And I was never the kid to be like walking around with his head up. I was never confident. I was never proud. Honestly, I was very unhappy, like back in high school. I was a really unhappy kid. And honestly, when I started working out, like when I got into bodybuilding, when I started seeing results, and it wasn't really in the beginning, it wasn't about me seeing results. It was other people seeing results in me and being like, yo, you look good. That was the biggest thing for me. Like, I never had someone tell me that, like, in the beginning. So I was like, wow, like, this is really addicting. Like, I feel way more confident than I ever felt before. And mentally, it was kind of like, again, it kind of addicting to be like, okay, let's see if I can keep this going, for sure.
So progression, it sounds like progression was like your thing. You kind of took to it and just wanted to see how far you can get with fitness.
Yeah, for sure.
And dude, honestly, I think that's should be like everybody's goal, like from a universal standpoint, is to progress in something that you do and love doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I
For
feel like
sure.
it's really hard to find and it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
So especially when it comes to lifting and eating and all of that, man, like it's really difficult to be consistent and dedicate yourself to it because, like you said, the results, you don't wake up and see that.
No,
Like
no, no.
it's like you have to do this today. And then if you do it consistently today and then do it consistently today and follow that path in, whatever, 6 months or 3 months, and you'll be able to kind of better tell me the time frame there. But it takes time to actually see that result.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. It's a game of patience. And unfortunately, we're not patient. Human beings aren't patient. We always look for instant gratification, right? So it's like we want the quick fix. And obviously there's $1 billion supplement industry out there that's all about it. Like every supplement company out there likes to promote, and a lot of workouts promote, and everybody wants to lose 30 pounds in 30 days and do this and that, but no one really wants to, think about the long term, get the end game and the long term and the journey, because that's really where all the magic happens, is inside that journey, right?
I 100% agree, man. I think we all want the finish line, but we don't feel like running.
Right.
So we'll try to always take those easy routes to kind of avoid that journey. And the next thing you know, you're at the finish line. And unfortunately, everybody's finish line, we all get there.
Yeah.
So, I'm done rushing. And that's why I'm really excited to talk to you, man, because I've been doing a lot of research on health and fitness. And unfortunately today, the internet, man, there's so much access to information to where like, it don't matter what I Google. Like if I Google something too specific, I'm going to get the answer I want and not necessarily the truth. Right.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. And I feel like, especially, I mean, it's kind of like anything, like, and especially with fitness too, because I spend a lot of time researching and following Instagram accounts, podcasts, what all fitness. There's a lot of people and a lot of research that shows one thing and it shows the other. So like, I don't know, for example, like a specific diet you can talk about. There's so many different diets out there, but like keto diet, like there's a big following and there's research out there that they'll be like, hey, this is the best diet ever. And then there's people out there like, no, it's not really the best diet. So yeah, that's kind of can be confusing for a lot of people. It's like, what to follow and what's right and what's not right. And there's a lot of people out there that have done research. And the crazy thing about research is it can kind of be skewed one way or the other way. So it's like, what is correct?
Exactly, man. You're 100%. And that's where I'm kind of like, that's why I'm so excited to talk to you, because there's people in this world, man, that they talk, they talk and they talk and they talk and they give these motivational things, but they're not doing right. So like watching you grow, man, like I knew you at a young age, and you were a really quiet, kind of kept to yourself kind of guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And you were smaller, you were a skinny dude. And today that's not who you are. Like, and I mean, I know your avatar, I don't really know you. I know your Facebook person that you created. Yeah. But that's the point of this, man. I like these long form conversations because now I can get to kind of know you. I can get a feeling for, how you got to where you're at.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Now you're coaching, right?
Yeah. So I'll lead you down the kind of the fitness journey for myself, and we can talk from there. So, again, sports kind of led me to fitness. Mental health, I think, definitely where it started. But also, I never got to the point of I don't want to say like bad alcohol or bad drug behavior, but in college, man, like I started getting in fights all the time, just drinking. And at one point, I got arrested, and I was just like, "What am I doing? Like, why do I keep doing this?" It's kind of just the norm. And at some point, for some reason, it clicked with me, like, why just keep doing the normal thing that everybody's doing? Go out on Saturday, Sunday, Friday, get drunk, go try to hook up with girls. Like, for what? I don't know what it's for. So, getting into fitness, and then, meeting kind of like a mentor of mine at a young age. It was a bodybuilder I met that was a specimen in the gym. And he was just nice enough to teach me some things and kind of teach me a little about bodybuilding. So in college, I started to lift, I started to put on muscle, and then he started to teach me about bodybuilding. And that was kind of where fitness kind of pulled me first, was like bodybuilding. Build muscle, build muscle, build muscle, go compete in shows. And that became addicting for sure. It was like, hey, I did pretty good in my first show. Now I want to do better. I placed third place. Now I'll place second. Now I'll place first. And then it went from like competing in this division, which is a little bit easier. Let's try to go compete in the other division, which is a little bit harder. So I did competitive bodybuilding for about 5 years. And that was really where it all started. And then my job came from that too. I went to college for math and statistics. I have a degree in actuarial science, which means like you assess risk. You work for insurance companies. To this day, I've never used that degree. So I graduated with my undergrad in actuarial science, but I was enjoying fitness so much. I was really sucked into it. I saw what it did for my life. And I just wanted to help other people feel that way. So after college, timing was perfect for this job. Timing was perfect because I went to this place called Orange Theory 8.5 years ago, and I still work there today. And at the time, it was a 21st studio in America. So 21st Orange Theory ever. Now today, there's about 1,500 open worldwide. So I got into Orange Theory at a very, very young age. And my goal there was simple. My goal was go personal train for a little bit, try to follow through with your undergrad degree and take the exams you need to take. But while you do that, why not make some money? We got car payments and stuff. So, go make some money and personal train people. You kind of seem like, I kind of thought I knew what I was doing, and I loved health and fitness. So why not go do it? And again, I just got started there, started coaching just a little bit and working behind the desk and just getting my foot in the door. But again, it was like supposed to be a part-time thing. And the good thing about getting in Orange Theory at such a young age, when there was only 21 studios, is that there was this huge picture and a lot of opportunity to grow. And I was very fortunate to be able to grow because I got into the company so early. So I was able to definitely make a career out of it. And that's kind of what I'm doing today. Like you said, I'm coaching. And I've been coaching now, again, for about 8.5 years. But I've also been able to build up in the management structure. So there's different positions within Orange Theory. I went from being like a coach to like a head coach to managing and overlooking a studio. And now I'm called a regional trainer. So basically my job is to recruit a lot of coaches, educate coaches, and really develop coaches. So kind of like my expertise right now is in really developing coaches, and it's a rewarding job. It's cool. I get to find a lot of people like myself at a young age that just wanted to get into fitness, had a passion for helping people, and get to really just teach them how to do it. So it's pretty cool.
That's amazing, dude. It really is. And let me just, Orange Theory. Is Orange Theory franchised?
Yeah. Yep. It's a franchise.
So where in your development were you like, I want to work for Orange Theory? So I'm assuming you work for corporate, right? Like,
no. So I'll explain that too, because it can definitely get confusing. First of all, the opportunity, and again, it's kind of crazy how it worked out. At the time back then, I was working out at Retro Fitness, which is a big box gym. And the guy there was like, hey, go get certified. I'll get you a job right away. And then when I went to him, he was like, I got certified. He's like, I don't have a job for you, but go look at this place called Orange Theory. And I was like, I don't know what the hell it is, but I'm going to go check it out. So I did. But with Orange Theory, they're based out of Florida, started in Fort Lauderdale about 11 years ago. And again, yes, it's a franchise. The people I work for is like a group. So it's kind of a group inside of the Orange Theory group. They own 64 Orange Theories.
Got it. Okay.
Right. So we have our own kind of infrastructure inside of Orange Theory. And I'm able to be a regional trainer for that specific group.
Understood.
Yeah, but it's cool. I do get to network because I've been with Orange Theory for so long. I know a lot of people at corporate, and we do network a lot, bounce ideas off each other, which is cool. I have a lot of connections at corporate, which is really fun to just be a part of a bigger picture.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. I love hearing like success stories like that. And see, what you just explained is like the people that have been closest to you, since then, this is things that they can see, right? So what about the things that they don't see? Because I'll tell you this, man, even though fitness and things is not, I never got into that, but like I got into even just doing this podcast. Like people today will make fun of me and they'll say things about this, right? They'll criticize me negatively because it's different. It's not normal.
Yeah.
So when you got into bodybuilding, like and I can't even specific my boy Shriver, he got into
Yeah,
bodybuilding.
yeah.
And I remember like making fun of him, like,
Right. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, what's this dude? Look at this dude. And as I'm
Right.
drinking a Budweiser at the bar
Yeah.
stool, you know what I mean? Like, how did you
dude.
overcome that at
Yeah.
such a young age, dude?
Yeah.
Because that's not easy to just do it when
No,
everybody's
for sure,
making
man.
fun of you.
Yeah, no, and that you nailed it. I mean, I tell people, like, most people start drinking at 21. I stopped drinking at 21 because where we grew up, dude. We started drinking 14 years old, like
I know, dude.
eighth grade, and that's why I tell people, I'm like, I did enough of it, like for sure, like growing up. And I didn't stop drinking completely. I still to this day don't like. I drink a little bit, social, I guess you can call it. But yeah, I mean, it was tough because I really got into this whole thing my senior year of college. And my freshman, sophomore, and junior year of college, again, I was like that typical college guy. I was drinking. I had a great group of friends that we would hang out with and have a great time every weekend. And then senior year, they would hit me up and be like, "Yeah, you coming out?" And be like, "Nah, I'm all right. I'm just going to go work tonight or just chill in tonight." I had a girlfriend at the time. Like, "Hey, I'm just going to hang out with her." And eventually they just stopped talking to me. Right. So I lost a lot of friends in college specifically because of that. And my friends from the neighborhood who, like, I still talk to this day, I'm very grateful for them. But a lot of the guys from Chalfont in the neighborhood, they were kind of the same way, but they started, because I think we were really close, but they started to kind of accept it. But again, they still wouldn't hit me up to like go out, because that's what they did. And that's normal. Like, they wanted to go out to the bars and hang out and whatnot. And that was cool. But it got very, very lonely. I think like having a girlfriend definitely helped. But always able to tell myself, like, it's going to pay off. The hard work, again, from competing itself was paying off. I knew I was going to get better at shows and win shows. And my work ethic, like, it's something I just noticed about myself. Like, my work ethic, as I've gotten to health and fitness, became better. My discipline outside of just like bodybuilding and all became better. I became a happier person. And I saw those things and recognized those things and said, these things outweigh doing the normal things that the 21-year-old could. So it got, for sure, it got lonely. Bodybuilding itself, that's why I stopped doing it. For me, it was just, one, I think it did take a huge social like toll on my life, and at the point where I was like, I'm not really, I love it, and I'll never say like I regret doing that, because again, it helped me so much to become the person I am today. But after like 5 years, it was like, all right, well, I want to kind of have a little fun and just go hang out with people more, and definitely get back to my friends. Again, not saying like I want to go and get wasted, like that's not what I want to do, but it got to a point where I was like, all right, one, the social life is starting to take a little bit of toll on me. And two, if you know anything about competitive bodybuilding, you got to get to a point where either you're going to take drugs and go really, really hard and get really, really big and like make it to the next level to be a well-known person, or you're not. And for me personally, I was like, dude, I'm not doing that. Sorry. So I kind of maxed out.
Dude, I got to give you credit, man, for all of that. Like, none of that, what you just said, like ending things, right? Like ending things like that is so difficult. And I'm somebody that takes everything to the extreme. I always have, dude.
Yeah.
And, my wife is the one that my wife, when we had our first kid, when I had Liam, dude, he is the one that grounded me. And it was like, damn, what am I doing? Like, I didn't have that moment until I had responsibility for someone else.
Yeah.
Like, you saw it in yourself, dude, which I think is an amazing thing. And that's inspiring to me, honestly. So let me ask you this, man. So you got out of bodybuilding and you weighed, do I want to get big in this, or can I kind of do something else? Because there's going to be drugs I'm going to take. I'm going to have to alter the chemicals in my body. I'm going to have to do all of these other things.
Yeah.
So looking back at that, not really specifically bodybuilding, because I know not many bodybuilders are probably going to listen to this, but average people are going to be who listens to this podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
When you talk to an average person and somebody's coming up like, dude, Pat, I need to get healthy. Like, where should I start? And is it more dieting, exercising, both? Which one do you kind of point in the direction first?
Yeah.
Because I think for me, dude, like when I started, the reason I stop working out is because I take things to the extreme and I set the bar too high. So I want progress, but I set my bar too high. So what I've learned is if I set a low bar, like this is my goal, this, and I know if I accomplish this low one, then I can start kind of going up, right? So if I start dieting and exercising and take it to the extreme immediately, I'm done the next week.
That's right. That's
like,
very right.
So
what
do you have
you
advice
you kind of nailed it. I mean, you kind of nailed it yourself. So the big thing, and we just talked about this, is people want guaranteed results, and they think for guaranteed results they got to flick a switch and they have to go from nothing to all in, and that is the worst thing you can do because it's not going to work. So we do what's called transformation challenges, Orange Theory. It's basically an 8-week challenge. We offer a couple $100 for winner, and we see what people can do. And I always tell people, like, don't tell yourself, because there's like this concept there, like no carbs. Don't tell yourself that. Like, don't tell yourself no carbs, no drinking. When you are used to drinking, you're used to eating carbs all day long. And like, don't try to do that. It's not going to work. And it's not just about what I try to preach too, during. It's like, don't think of it as an 8-week challenge. Like, it's an 8-week kind of kickstart, but you need to think long term. And you just honestly nailed it. You want like this 1, 2, 3, and that's what it needs to be. Is you have to have a big goal for sure. It needs to be something that like is going to be hard. You need a goal up here, which is going to be hard. You know that you're going to struggle. It's not going to be a direct linear line to get there. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but that's the big goal. And to get there, you have to set those little stepping stones, because those little stepping stones are going to get you there. So for me, it's like, if you want to switch your diet, if you want to switch your nutrition, like, let's take one thing. Maybe it's you snack at night. Like, can we simply take the chips and the popcorn you're eating at night, every night before bed, and can we switch that to like a Greek yogurt? Something, I'm not going to take it away from you, but let's just try to experiment with that, right? So one thing, right? Because again, calories add up over time. People don't understand that, and then you wind up putting on a lot of weight. But you just need to make small changes, and they're not easy by no means. Like, I say small changes, but small changes are really hard to make. They're not easy to make at all. So it's just from there, having the willpower to know, like, okay, I'm going to try to make this small change. And if I fail, which 9 out of 10 times you're going to fail, right? If I ask you eat a Greek yogurt instead of your chips, probably third day and fourth day, you're going to want to eat your chips, and you're going to eat your chips. But saying after that, okay, that doesn't mean I quit. That means tomorrow I go back to eating my yogurt at night instead of eating my chips. And it's just all about small steps, man. I don't believe in all or nothing. I don't believe from going from one extreme to the next. I don't think it's going to work. And the big picture is you're not going to sustain it. That's when it comes to nutrition wise. People ask me all the time, what's the best diet? The one that's going to work for you. It's going to be whatever you can sustain the longest.
I love that answer, man. I love that answer. Today, we live in a world that's so generalized. It's like when you say keto, right? Like, it's like they put this keto thing out there and they're like, this diet is the end all be all for everybody. And it's like, no, it's not, because that could really probably hurt somebody too. Like, there's somebody out there that diet could maybe kill.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, for sure. For people that are deficient in certain like just vitamins and minerals, it doesn't work for some people. But again, other people it works great for. And
somebody else it could save their life. Yeah. But I love that you said, like, it's what works for you. That means you do take into account that person's an individual. So I think that's so important in today's world. I mean, we are individuals. We do have certain needs that only kind of we need, right? But with that being said, like, the first thing you brought up, so I'm just gonna assume that maybe that's something that's really important, is the snacking at night. So if somebody's really like trying to lose, would you say like that's a good start, generally speaking? Like, you shouldn't snack at night, or you should, like, that's something that you could start doing just to make it a little bit better of a lifestyle?
It's going to be whatever the smallest change you can make in your life. Like, you might snack at night, but you also might eat at lunchtime 3,000 calories a meal. Like, just cut your lunchtime. Let's start with that meal then and go from there. So I think everyone's a little specific, but it's whatever change I think is going to be the easiest for you to make. Start with that change. And then kind of go from there. So it might be that snack time. Again, the meal is snack time. This would be kind of picking something out. It might be at lunch you drink a Coke every day, and now you're going to pick up a bottle of water.
Now, when you're coaching, right? Like
Yeah.
you said that you're going to fail. When you're like a student
Yeah.
is, or the person you're mentoring,
Mm.
when they fail, are you kind of trying then to look for something smaller to change? Like, do you think that may have been too big of a change,
Yeah.
and you're like, hold on, maybe we got to go a little less? Like, what else are we doing? What did we miss in our last conversation?
It could be that again, but it could be like, again, if they, like, for example, I use like a Brit Yoker, like if they made it 3 days, I'm not going to focus on the failure. I'll say, yeah, okay, you did it, but I'm going to focus on, you did 3 days, right? So go back to that. But again, if it's something where, if it's something that they didn't make it 1 day or 2 days at all, they really couldn't do it, then yeah, we need to step back and reassess and probably switch to something different.
I love that.
There's a million factors, like getting an extra half hour sleep that can make the world difference. Like there's so many things you can do, whether it's just taking a 10-minute walk a day. And that's a big thing too. Like people think I need to get into this huge exercise routine. If you're doing nothing right now, just do something. That might mean like a lot of people sit at a desk all day. Like, okay, every 2 hours, get up, walk around the office, walking down the desk, do 10 squats, get your body moving, and then keep doing your thing. But again, like something is better than nothing. And again, that's just what we're talking about now is people think like, all right, I'm not working out, but now I got to go to the gym 5 days a week. Like, no, you don't. You just need to get started, right? It's like you can't run a marathon without taking the first step. Just got to take one step first and then start going.
And
so
how long did it take you to get this mindset? Like when was there like any time, like any part of your life? And I don't even want to say your career, man, because what I love right now about what you're doing is this is your life. You're not this isn't work for you. Like I can tell this is like, this is just cool. Like part of your life, man. Like you're just like, I can tell that about you. You don't see
not
that
many people. Yeah. Not many people get to do it. And that's probably, I mean, again, what one of the most, like, I guess, blessed things about my life is like, I get to do that. I get to do something I love. I'm passionate about it. I actually care about it, and I enjoy going to work, like, for sure. Not many people get to do that. For sure.
It's a very small percentage, dude. It's a very, very, very small percentage, because most people, in my opinion, are just they see someone here and they either envy or they're jealous of that, and then they start aiming for what that person has, not knowing what that person has. Right? You only can see what you can see. You don't know what else that person's doing. So I think we set our aims a little wrong sometimes.
But for like motivation wise, I think just for me, and like I don't know if you ever heard David Goggins.
Dude, I love David Goggins, bro.
Okay. So he just talks constantly about callousing your mind. And and what that means is really simple, is you just have to take it one victory at a time. And every time you make a small victory, like, again, talking about that Greek yogurt thing, you made 3 victories. You did it 3 nights in a row. Every time you do that, your mind will get a little bit stronger. On top of that, I would say try to surround yourself with more positive, whether that, like for me, it was like Goggins videos and motivation. I got real into motivational speeches and like stuff like that when I was bodybuilding, because it helped me. So surrounding yourself with, number one, I think positive people that support you, because again, like you and I talked about, a lot of people didn't support me. So trying to talk to those people more when I first started fitness helped me out a lot. And 2, like find something there that's going to keep you moving. Find a support system or some kind of motivation. But yeah, I was listening to YouTube videos and like Eric Thomas and David Goggins and Les Brown. Like I would listen to those guys all the time, and really, really just try to keep moving. Try to keep, again, anytime I failed, just saying I got to pick myself up. I'm not going to quit. And a lot of it could have been my job. It could have been the fitness. It could have been, at 22, I got kicked out of my house. Like I could have just, again, said, oh my God, this is the worst thing in my life. But because of fitness, and because I learned from fitness that you can keep getting stronger, it just always told me, you're not going to quit, dude. You're a survivor. You're not going to quit. You're going to get through this, and just keep fighting. So,
you know what I think fitness does, like why it's important, because fitness, it is you against you.
Yeah.
And not a lot of
no one else is going to help you.
Exactly.
There's like this Instagram, there's a big Instagram like thing going out now, and it keeps saying like, hey, no one cares. That's the sad. No one cares if you go work out or not.
Nope.
No one cares if you get healthy or not. The only person to do it is you. So
that's it, man.
No one's going to hold your hand. I hate to break it to you. No one's going to do it. You got to find it within yourself. And it's not easy to find within yourself, but some light switch somehow has to go off in you.
Yeah, man.
Get you moving.
1,000%, dude. And something I realized that I was doing that was always holding me back is like I would blame the world for my failures, but then take credit for every time I succeeded. Yeah, so it's like, which one do I want? Like, do I want to take the credit and take the failures, or do I have to give it all to the world? Like, do I have to give my success to them too?
Yeah.
And I would have never progressed if I did that way. Like I just take it all on myself. And to me, man, like I think I was talking about this with Eddie Carroll yesterday, is selfishness, and how I think selfishness has this negative connotation to it, where I think like it could be a really positive thing if the selfishness is focused on bettering yourself so that you could be a better person for the community, for your family. But if I don't focus on me, man, like I wouldn't be here right now, man. I'd be a KNA, or I'd be in a casket, or I'd be in jail right now. Like I need it to turn everything inward and be like, this is about me, but my intentions aren't to manipulate you anymore. All right. Like that's what I used to do. I was doing things selfishly to manipulate you to do something for me. Now it's a selfish standpoint of like, I'm doing this and it's weird, man. Cause like my wife's a stay-at-home mom, dude. I have 3 kids now. And when I'm focused on the details of today, I'm going this way, dude. And then if I look to my left or right, there's my kids and my wife. Like they're coming with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's how I try to look at it. It's like, I need to focus on myself because if I don't, man, I won't have what I have today.
Yeah. Yeah. You nailed it. And I totally forget the book it was, but I forget that was a big change for me too, man. It's just becoming self-aware and becoming self-aware that, like you said, taking responsibility for your own actions. And whatever book or podcast it was I was listening to, the example was like when you're late for work. Like when we're late for work, we constantly blame traffic. We constantly blame the alarm went off. Like, no, you need to pre-think about all those things, and you need to leave earlier for work. You need to set 2 alarms if one's going to break. Like, you need to take responsibility for that. And for me, that was a huge step in my personal growth. And it's something I really try to tell my employees all the time, because I hear all that all the time, excuses for why they're late or any kind of.
Well, it's not an excuse, Pat, dude. There was traffic.
Yeah.
It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. And it's the truth, man. You're not lying. Like I remember from like my own perspective, like I remember waking up late, rushing, showering, getting in the car, hitting every red light. In my mind, how am I going to justify this? What can I say? What can I say? I just did this last week. I need a new excuse. And you just really believe that these people believe you, and they're really looking at you like, all right, like, come on, grow up.
No, for sure, man. That's a big step in personal growth, though. I think for everyone, it's like becoming self-aware and being able to take the blame for the things that go wrong. But like you said, also you get to take credit for the things that go right too. Your hard work and your dedication always, for me at least, pays off.
It does, man. But let me ask you this, dude, because it seems like when I'm talking to you, like you're very happy right now talking about this, and I can tell how passionate you are, right?
Yeah.
But like, do you think that because you put in all this work that you suffer like a lot more? Like, don't you? Like for me, like I try to suffer. Like if I'm not suffering, dude, like then I'm just dwelling in the past or worrying about the future. And that's a different type of suffering. Like me suffering in this moment means I'm progressing. Like that's the kind of the way I
No, you need to look for things that challenge you. You need to look for things that make you uncomfortable. I'm big on exposure therapy, which basically means putting yourself in things you don't like to do.
Like this.
So exactly. No,
I hated this, dude. I was so scared. I'm still scared. Every time I log in here, I start getting nervous, dude. But
dude, that's normal. That's how it is for group fitness too. Like, so when I was young in high school, if someone would have told me, hey, you're going to be talking to people, groups of people all day long and motivating people, I'd been like, fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, no way, dude.
I'm not. And when I first started group fitness, it's public speaking. It's like you're nervous to get in front of people. You're going to mess up. And again, I was able to overcome that. And for fitness after bodybuilding, that was my mentality. What things am I not good at that I'm going to try to go get good at? So after bodybuilding, the next thing I kind of took on was running. I went from a bodybuilder, just strictly lifting. My cardiovascular shape was okay. But one day my friends who run marathons were just like, I bet you can't run like a 5K, which is like 3.1 miles in like 30 minutes. And I went out there and I did it like just in about 30 minutes, but I realized how bad of a runner I was. I was good at lifting weights and I was good at posing, but a lot of my athletic abilities that, again, we grew up playing sports. I was like, damn, I don't have it anymore. Like I can't run. So for me, it was like the next week I signed up for a half marathon and I said, I'm doing it. And not only that, but I said, I'm going to set a goal, a really hard goal. I'm going to try to run real fast for 13 miles. And I just kind of set little stepping stones throughout it, set a game plan for myself and was able to do it. Was able to run a half marathon really, really fast at that point in my life. So that was it. And then from there it was like, now what do I do? I kind of did the running thing. Now what do I go to next? And it's funny because bodybuilding for 5 years, we always, in the bodybuilding community and myself included, would bash CrossFit. CrossFit was like, oh, don't go, they're losers, they're wannabes, like whatever. But
that's called self-awareness, brother.
Yeah. But after running, it was like, I think I want to go try CrossFit. And I got into CrossFit and I said, wow, I suck at this. I'm in really good shape. I'm pretty strong, but these other guys in there, these classes, like whoop my ass. They're way better than I am. And then that was my kind of next thing was like getting into CrossFit, competing in CrossFit. And then from there, it was Olympic weightlifting, which I'm kind of like really passionate about now, which is just learning how to like clean and jerk and snatch those two lifts specifically. So that's kind of my thing now is like, I have a goal that I want to hit with that and focus on that. But yeah, my goal has always been, like you said, like what's going to get me uncomfortable. I did a period and I still do to this day of yoga. I don't know if you ever tried hot yoga. It is the hardest thing mentally for me. And again, that's not really a physical challenge. It's more of a mental challenge because at some point in that class, I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. This is the worst thing ever. But I know when I'm done, I'm like, oh, I did it. I got through it.
It feels good, man. I wish I could get more into yoga. Right now, I don't do yoga. My wife goes to. I got my wife a membership at the yoga place.
Nice.
Right across the street, actually. So she goes there early in the morning. But for me right now, like the way that I deal with them, the mental thoughts is meditation.
Yeah.
So like I sit alone,
for
dude.
you. Good.
I sit alone with my thoughts, and I just like as soon as dude, it's so easy to be like, dude, stop doing this. Get up. But I think it's so important to do that. And I actually meditate like in the middle of the day sometimes, dude. As soon as I feel like I start getting in a rut, like I'll even just go in the bathroom, bro, and like just sit there for like 5 minutes and just be like, all right, I got to get my thoughts back together. I think that's important. I think everything has that.
It's more important than fitness. I can tell you that again, like a lot of things we're talking about, like I wouldn't be able to do unless I had the mindset I had. So being able to strengthen your again, there's like a big saying out there. It's your body achieves what your mind believes, right? So if you can get your mind to believe something and that you're going to take it to the uncomfortable level, then your body will follow. So yeah, mental health, again, I'm real big on it. I talk like a lot about, like, I've been medicated now for like 9 years since high school. A big part was like anxiety, that went along with that. I feel great, but I've lost people to suicide too. So I'm real big in like mental health, like gotta have your mind right. Cause that's where it all starts between your ears. And then from there, it's like the rest will follow.
Yeah, man. I think that we have the power to create a reality that we want. I just don't think we are willing to take those risks and willing to do those things. And for me, man, like, again, I really, you're very inspirational. Like, dude, I never knew all this about you, right? And you bringing up this bodybuilding, and they made fun of CrossFit, and then you escaped that as well. Yeah. Like, you didn't stick around there. No. You get what I'm saying? Like,
no, yeah, for sure.
Like that, that you're like, hold on, like you start to question the group you were with. You start to question their beliefs. Like, you know what? Let me just check this out. Let me walk on that side real quick. And then it's like, no, you know what? It's not what they're saying it is. This could help me. Let me try it. Right. Let me open my mind. Let me just try it.
Right.
And you basically took a bunch of different ideologies and started to create Pat Bryan.
Right.
And you're not worried about, you're not attached to one thing.
No.
And I used to attach myself to something.
A lot of people do, man. A lot of people love gossip. A lot of people love talking shit on other people, but they never, ever even decided to talk to that person. You know what I mean? Like they hear about you and they're like, oh, they automatically have, but they never sat down and talked to you before. They don't know where you've been. They don't know what you've done with your life. Like they don't know.
People do it to me all the time, dude.
Exactly.
I get it all the time. I'm like, and that's why, like, if you ever watch any of my podcasts, the last one I wore like a tinfoil hat because I embrace like the criticism, because the criticism to me is it means one, I'm speaking something that not maybe anybody else is. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot.
Yeah.
I'm wrong a lot. But the only way I find that out is if I talk about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The only way you're going to get better. The only way you're going to get better is by doing it, is talking about it too. Like, I think I know a lot about fitness. And like right now, you've seen videos I posted, but I know that I'm probably going to post something one day and someone's going to be like, they're going to question it. And then I'll be like, well, explain, like, let me learn from it then. Like, I'm not going to get defensive and be like, no, my way's the right way. Like, no, like, let me hear what you got to say. Because that could make me better.
Why am I wrong? Yeah. Why am I wrong?
Right,
why am I doing this wrong? Tell me why, and then I can adjust. If you don't tell me why, though, that means that you just know, which means you don't know why you're right. You can't really justify why you're right.
And there's people out there like that
everywhere, in every single aspect of life, dude. It doesn't matter what. It's always got, just like you have the group of CrossFit and then bodybuilder, and where I'm on the outside looking at all of them thinking they're the same thing.
Right.
Like I would never think that you were beefing. You know what I mean? Like I would never. I'm just like they're all just into fitness, all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sure. And then even within that fitness group, then you have the little subgroups, which I think is pretty cool to think. I never really thought about that.
Yeah. Each of them. I think the cool thing about like CrossFit itself, though, and like even Orange Theory, is I got real, and what I believe in now, I love group fitness because it has a community aspect to it, and especially as someone who played sports and being part of a team, it's like, it's awesome. It's not just about working out, but you make a lot of friends. It becomes a community. You start hanging out outside the gym with people. You make friends that honestly want to get better. They're in the gym too. They want to get better.
Yep.
And that was, again, like bodybuilding is lonely because a lot of bodybuilders, it's like, it's you, your headphones on, and it's a one. It's awesome. You're going to find out a lot about yourself because you're alone and you're doing this by yourself. But the community of group fitness, I think, really drags me into that too. Is like, it's cool. I hang out with a lot of people from the gym. We do events all the time. We do member socials. We do group workouts. Today we had a charity workout for one of our coaches' moms who passed away from Alzheimer's. Like, it was just great.
Like, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and she just loved it. The woman who ran it for her mom, she coached the class, and like it meant so much to her. And like, it was great to have that energy. Everybody there supporting people. And just having a good time and raising money for this person and just showing love, really. Yeah.
Communities are very important right now. So for you to have something like that is really it's really cool. It's hard to find these days because why I think community is important and having different aspects like that is because, like, let me ask you, what else do you like to do outside of fitness? Let me ask you.
That's a good question because a lot of people ask me that. So my hobbies are probably one. I play a lot of golf, which sucks now because it's cold. So that's
not down here, dude.
I know. But I play a lot of golf. And honestly, that's great for me because my brother does it. So my brother and I stay connected a lot through that. But a lot of all the guys I grew up with also play. So even if, again, because lately, like, I'll drink once or twice a week, but they might want to go out Friday and Saturday. And I'll be like, man, I'm just going to stay in tonight. You guys go out, have fun. We'll golf tomorrow. So I can still go hang out with them. Or whatever it may be. I do go out every now and then and have a couple of beers, but I I'm not out there to get like wasted or anything. But so like last night we went out, so I definitely go out a little bit and socialize. I'm trying to get into reading. I hate reading. So one thing I hate doing is reading. So I'm trying to get into reading right now. That's like something I really want to pick up. The social media stuff, I'm trying to get it more onto, because I was one of those people that was like scrolling all the time, just scrolling. You're there just watching everybody else. Well, why don't you actually post something? So I'm like, dude, I'm going to create content. I have some value. I can help some people, not just in the gym, but help other coaches, teach other people. So why not just do something? So start creating videos. But yeah, and then obviously like the gym is a big part of my life. Like besides work, I mean, just the gym is more than the gym. It's the community. It's friends I make there. We hang out a lot. So
the reason I was asking you what else you like to do, because like if you took your group of people at the gym and then you took them all at the gym, you guys are there for fitness, you guys are there for relationship, but like all of you leave that gym, and if all of you are going, like you're going golfing where some other, like another one of them might be going to a book club, another one might be going to church, and that's and they're coming from all these different places in life and doing other things, and then you come together and you're like, we're one. It doesn't matter, like outside of it, like we are one, and all of us, no matter that we're into other things, we have this one thing in common, and that's important.
It brings us together, man. It's cool. It's really cool. We have like days at Orange Theory and days like, man, if I go to CrossFit or whatever, where like you try to do your best. Like it might be like, we're gonna test your mile, we're gonna test your 500-meter row, and those days to me, dude, are the coolest freaking days coaching, because these people, again, doesn't matter what their background is, doesn't matter what they do in their lives. For 1 hour, they are cheering each other on with nothing else in mind. Dude.
Exactly, man.
People together and like supporting people, which is seriously like a beautiful thing. Like,
it's so good awesome for this world. It's so good for this world. It's like when people can, when you're confident in yourself, man, that's when you can start giving back to people. If you like, for me, I could not root for somebody if I wasn't even rooting for myself yet. So by the time I got comfortable with me, now I'm like, dude, I want to build a community where everybody can like want good for everybody. Like,
for sure.
And that's the way I want to see the world, dude. Like I used to be a very negative person. I used to do things for I used to be a terrible human being, dude. And I'm sure you know a lot of my stories.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like I've done some terrible things in my life. I've hurt so many people.
Honestly, I was so happy just to hear that you're doing this podcast. Honestly, I'm like the biggest fan of people that turn their lives around. I know like there are a lot of guys out there, and of course, like I talk to a lot of guys in the gym that I see that we grew up with that turned their lives around. They're now sober also. And like, I'm their biggest fan, dude. I'm like, what do you need? I'll give you whatever tips you need. Like, I'm here to help you because like, you're out here doing it. So I have a lot of friends that are in recovery or sober, and a lot of guys at the gym too, that I'm just like, yo, I'm your, little do you know, I'm cheering for you the whole way, brother. I want to see this workout. I hope this podcast is the next Joe Rogan, bro.
Dude, I really appreciate that. And that's the crazy part, right? Like, a lot of this is inspired from watching like people like Joe Rogan's podcast. But like when I was watching them, I'm like, man, I could really learn a lot about myself and other people in the world by having conversation, because right now I'm scrolling through Facebook and like having conversations in a thread on Facebook, and these people are like, there's context to things, and sometimes you don't see context on typed out words.
No.
So you like, if I texted you and I was like,
face, man.
I just said, what's that?
You got to get face to face.
That's it, because I could text you and be like, what's up, bitch? Like it's a joke, but you might read it like, what's up, bitch? And what are you so angry about? It's like, no, man, I'm actually joking. But you can't see that through Facebook, and people can read things out of context. And then I was like, I'm so afraid of judgment. And it all started just like you did, like with Facebook. And you're like, I scroll, but I'm not posting. For me, it was like, I'm so afraid of judgment. How do I overcome that? So I started posting on Facebook. That was my first thing. And then I was like, I'm going to do a podcast. And then everyone I grew up with, was like, yeah, I'll come on. And then I started it, and they're like, dude, you know what? Like I don't want to really be on there. And I'm like, dude, fuck, man. So I only did a couple episodes last year, but this year I'm like, you know what? I got to go out of my comfort zone even further.
Yeah.
I'm going to message people that I haven't seen in forever. I don't even know them, but
Right.
they're posting something positive,
Right.
or they're just interested in talking.
Yeah, man.
So
you got to shoot your shot. You got to keep throwing it out there, just messaging people, DM people. And yeah, there's people out there that they're definitely going to say, yeah, that are definitely.
and I want to bring positivity, man. Like I know, and you were a wake up call with some of the things that you said to me. And I was like, you know what, man, like it does look like that's my goal.
Yeah.
I need like, what can it does look like that.
Yeah.
It never was to go down that road.
I get it.
It never was.
For sure.
But it looks like that from the outside. It does, man.
It's all good.
It looks
all
big,
good.
But that stuff will never benefit my life. So I try to focus on things that are going to make a positive impact on my life.
And that's what I was like trying to say to you is like my value is in health and fitness. So coming on here, like I'll talk about health and fitness all day long, but that's where my value is at. Anything else, like people probably don't care about or want to listen to me talk about.
That's why I wanted to bring you on, dude. Because
for sure. But going back to what you said about face-to-face, man, because I manage, a lot of 20-year-olds and younger kids, and like just talking about getting uncomfortable is like people are just afraid to have conversations. They're afraid to get face-to-face, man. They're afraid to pick up the phone. But we do it to ourselves too, and I think about it too, because like if someone does call me, I'll be like, nah, bro, text me. Like I'm part of the problem. But there is beauty in having a conversation with somebody face to face. Like you get more, the conversation is going to go a lot better. But yeah, I think especially with these younger generations, it's just more and more technology. So people don't want to have conversations.
I also think that the full conversation, it's very people are afraid to speak their true thoughts and beliefs because they're afraid of the repercussions or what you're going to think. And it's like, so a lot of times what we do is we say things, and I know I'm 100% guilty of this. Like I say things that I know you're going to like, and they're the only words I'll use to anybody because I'm like, this is what people want to see. So like if somebody was like, let's sit down and talk, if somebody asked me to do this 5 years ago before I got sober, I'm like, no way, dude. I only have like a vocabulary of 10 words and 10 thoughts. Like what can I talk to you about, dude?
Nah, man, you're good. You're well spoken now, man. I like it. It's good.
It honestly comes from my wife, dude. My wife, dude, I owe everything to her, dude. She is.
That's great.
She's an amazing person, man. That's really, amazing. Really is. I want to ask a couple more questions about the fitness side.
Yeah.
Is there like any food when you're looking at diet and nutrition? Is there any food out there that you see people that will eat constantly because it's perceived as healthy, but it's not really healthy? It's just marketed that way. And I mean, is there something out there you'd be like, you should probably stay away from this because it's marketed incorrectly?
No, I feel you. And my honest answer is no. I don't like to restrict many things from people. Like if I'm coaching people, again, it's more about like habit changes. So like, I still believe, and I for myself, like I need to eat ice cream 3 days a week, and I need to like be able to go out with my friends on the weekend. But I also need to make the other time where I'm eating healthy. So I try not to like restrict people from anything. It's like, again, what's going to work best for you? What foods do you enjoy the most? And I'm not a big fan of like restricting people. And there's not many things like that either. Like,
I don't mean restricting. I mean like for example, what I've read a lot about is
like a shot of vinegar, like
non-fat or diet soda or like lower fat. Like I've just read things that are like that's not really necessarily true. They're minimizing maybe the serving size or they're minimizing this. I didn't know if there was just something that stuck out to you that was actually real. And
to my knowledge, there's not much of that. And honestly, a great follow on like Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I like Lane Norton. This guy, Lane Norton, he talks about dieting and nutrition a lot. It's not my field either, my scope of practice. Like I don't have a nutrition degree. So I coach, like I have a little certification to like coach people on habit changes. But when I for my scope of practice, I try not to go too detailed into that either. Cause like, honestly, it's not my like expertise for sure. But what I like about this guy, Lane Norton, is he's 100% science backed. So it's all, he takes studies, he'll break it down for you. And for following him for many years, it seems like what you're saying, like for him and what he shows, like a lot of it like isn't true. Like people will say drinking Diet Coke's bad for you. And he'll be like, no, here's 3 studies that show people drinking Diet Coke and people not, and they got the same results.
Yeah.
So he's a great follow, but I don't want to go into too much like detail on that because it's not my expertise.
No, dude, I appreciate
sure.
that.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. And I
but
think
there's a lot out there. I mean, everybody, like, again, that's just like the supplement industry. Like it's just trying to get people to do the quick fix.
Yeah, dude, I think what you're doing is, I like that you keep bringing up habit, because I am a believer in like what your habits are, like what your everyday habits are, kind of like what you are.
Yeah.
So like if you don't like who you are or
Yeah.
where you're at, you have to start looking at habits, and not necessarily even just fitness. I think that me and you almost have like the same goal, and it's to help people progress in life by changing habits. Your niche is fitness,
Right.
where my niche, or where I'm trying to take my niche, is just in the thought process and like philosophy and just like coming out of that comfort zone. And I like to do things that get people to just do that part, because I think that's a good step to even get to have to talk to you. Like, I think you have to really do that before you even start taking what you're saying seriously when it comes to fitness. Because if you're not here, you're not.
And it's just like nutrition, it's just like exercise. Like habit changes are very, 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 very hard.
When it comes to habit changes, what do you think, or what do you hear or see, or in your experience, what's the biggest, I'll say excuse, or like, what's the biggest thing you hear from people as to why they can't do it?
Yeah.
Is there something?
It's time.
It's always time, right?
Right. It's always time. But to me and you, because we the way we think, it's not time, it's what we prioritize. We all have time. It's what do we choose to do with our time, right? So a lot of people say I don't have time to work out, but then they have time to watch Netflix, or they have time to scroll on Instagram, or they have time to, I don't know, whatever it may be.
Goggins, I think it was Goggins. I think it was Goggins that said on Joe Rogan, he was like, I don't think he said it on Joe Rogan. I think he called Joe Rogan or like texted him or something. And Joe Rogan read this. He's like, dude, Goggins texted me on my birthday and was like, I hope you're not sitting on the couch eating cake. Did you ever see that? And he's like, I hope you're suffering right now. I hope you're not. And I was like, and the one thing he said that I was like, wow. He said, a lot of people on this earth are here to just exist, to simply exist. And not that, I think that I was there for quite some time, dude. And it's, you know, but how do you change that, dude? Like, how do you, because you're a coach. So like, and now you're not even a coach of the people that are doing it. You're coaching somebody else to tell somebody to get to coach somebody else. What is the biggest thing? Like, how do you get them to be motivated? What is your,
it's gonna have to start small. Like for me, like a big thing is like win the morning. I think your morning routine is really important. Like, what do you do when you wake up? For you, it might be gratitude journaling, or it might be meditation. But I think starting your day off right is great. Understanding that, and someone, again, this stuck with me, whatever podcast or book I read, is you don't have bad days, you have bad moments. So if you have a bad moment, don't let that control your whole day. It's like a big thing for me. Like, you got to get back on track. Again, I play a lot of golf, and Tiger Woods, like, he has like a 10-step thought, or a 10-step process, whatever it's called. He just said, if I hit a bad shot, I'm allowed to be mad, but only for 10 steps. So he allows himself to get it all out, but then you got to get right back on track through it. So again, a lot of it probably mental. Again, we keep talking, bring it back to like the mental in between the years, but you got to get yourself thinking positively. You got to get yourself like believing that things can change. A lot of people don't, they don't really believe, like, all right, I'll go get signed up for the gym. But like, do you really believe you can lose that 30 pounds? Do you really believe, or are you just like trying? You kind of believe, because you gotta be all in your thought process. I'm not saying you have to go all in on like keto or whatever we talked about earlier, but you gotta be all in, like, I can do this. and I understand I'm going to struggle, but I can get through it. So you got to make some kind of just habit changes that are going to make you think positive, even when shit goes wrong, like for sure. And for that, it could be, again, listening to podcasts, gratitude journaling, reading motivationals, books, whatever it may be. Again, I recommend to everybody the Goggins book. Like I recommend that to everybody. It's like, I listened to it actually. I didn't read it. I listened to it. I loved it because what he does in his podcast or the audio book that I listened to is he offers challenges throughout. And that's really cool for me is like, week 1, you're done chapter 1, you need to do this. Week 2, you're done chapter 2, you need to do this. So he kind of helps you do that. And there's journals out there like gratitude journals, and they, again, meditation journals that every day, it kind of just asks you things. And it just gets you to start thinking positively, right? Gratitude is the greatest thing ever. Like if you can start your morning off for what you're thankful for, you are going to start your day in a really good place because we live in a world where people just don't take enough time to be grateful. We all know that. Usually right. It's too late to be grateful for the things that we're grateful for.
That's right, man.
For sure.
It is too late, man. I'm grateful that I got sober when I did, man, because I lost my dad to pancreatic cancer last October. My mom's going through breast cancer now, just metastasized, and like I wouldn't have been able to handle that crap, dude, back then. No. And like today, it's like I not only can I like handle it, but like I spoke at my dad's funeral.
You can be there for them. You can be there for your family. You can be there for the people that need you. That's like you talked about. You're bringing everybody with you.
It's so I don't know, man. I have everything I need right now, and I know that like every day that it's just like that. And I think it all started when I became humble and was like, you know what? And when I say became humble, I mean starting to focus on the little things, because I'd be the person that would go to the gym and be like, well, I can only bench the bar, but maybe if I just do 145 once, people will see that. And it's like, no, I had to humble myself. Like, dude, that's not me yet. Yeah. I have to do the bar. I'm not worried about what people are thinking. And the plates will come after. Yeah.
The ego is tough. The ego is tough, man. And fitness, the ego comes out the most. I mean, and that's where people get injured. And trust me, I deal with it. I've been in the fitness. I've been working out consistently now for like 12 years, bro. And there's still days where I'm like, I feel good today. I should probably throw in another plate. And then next thing I know, I feel like shit the next day. And I'm like, why? Like, it's a never-ending battle.
What's one thing when it comes to fitness and exercise that you were doing before that you were like stuck on that this is good, that you learned later that, you know what, that maybe isn't good, or this is the right way to do it?
Yeah.
Is there anything you can think of?
Yeah, for sure. Recovery, flexibility, mobility. So again, I love the fact that now when people do get motivated, they might work out 4 or 5 times a day. But if you don't take care of your body and allow it to rest the right way and allow yourself to take time to stretch and take time to work on your mobility, which is simply the way your body moves, like when you squat, you deadlift. If you don't do that stuff, usually what's going to happen is a muscle that's not supposed to be doing, let's say like a squat. Like your glutes are supposed to do a lot of the work. Your butt's supposed to do a lot of the work when you squat. And if you don't have the right mobility or mechanics, the front side of your body might start doing more work than the back side. Eventually, that leads you to a really, really dominant front side and not a dominant back side, which is going to lead to some kind of injury because you're not teaching yourself to use the proper muscles. So like recovery, flexibility, and mobility were really like the things I learned later in life after like bodybuilding for sure. Like when I started running and getting CrossFit more. And then obviously like you get older, like by no means do I think you or I are old, but I mean, I'm not 18. So like my body is going to take a little bit more time to recover. Like I got to start doing those things now so I can keep going for sure.
And I think that's directly, a lot of the things I've been reading, man, is like dieting and exercise are like directly linked to like, there's a point in our life to where we start getting sick and stay sick. Yeah. So like diet and exercise can put us at a point where that time comes later.
Yep.
And the food that we are all eating, the amount of things that we have that entail us to do nothing to use it to distract us gets to a point where like I feel like it's happening earlier and earlier in age. And if you look at statistics, man, like obesity, dude, 42% of people are obese.
Yeah.
I'm considered morbidly obese right now.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's, and when I look at myself, I'm like, all right, I'm fat. I need to lose some weight, dude. But like when I'm looking at other people, I'm like,
no, for
dang.
sure.
So like,
and that's what I'll say to that. Don't beat yourself up, because a lot of the things, which is like crazy, it was like BMI is like BMI shouldn't exist anymore. Like I'm probably honestly obese because my body weight is higher. Like I have more muscle, but my body weight's higher. Technically my BMI is higher, right? So like BMI is thing of the past. It's all about body composition, how much.
I understand that, but I'm definitely.
But no, I get you.
I'm fat, dude. Like I need to lose weight. But what I mean is, like, if this is what morbidly obese looks like how did we get to a world that's like, I'm not really the average. Like I'm kind of right under that, I think. And like, it's scary. And so you got that, dude. You got heart disease, 48% of people have cardiovascular, hypertension, 47%, arthritis, 24%. And if you look at the world, I think it was NCI, I forget what website I got this off of. I'll post it in the comments, but it's all linked to lifestyle. And when people say lifestyle, they're not thinking habits, but that's what it is. It's all linked to your habits.
Sure.
And if you look, it all started in like around 1970 is when this spike happened, dude. And how do you think we change that? Is there anything that, like, because I don't hear anybody talking about, let's focus on our health. Let's focus on getting better
you're right.
as a human, instead of saying, you're going to get cancer. So like, look at our statistics for how we cure cancer now. It's like, no, I don't want cancer. I don't care how much you're curing it. How do I avoid getting it? How do I avoid diabetes? Like, tell me. Don't tell me that you're treating it better.
Don't tell me when it's too late. And I saw something like that, like probably like a year ago, and it stuck with me. And it was simply the post or whatever it said is, at some point or another in your life, you need to care about your health. And it can either be your decision or it's not going to be your decision, because either you can do it now and prevent it, or one day you're going to go to the doctor and they're going to tell you something bad. And at that point in your life, you're going to have to do something rather than your choice to do it, right? So that's something that stuck with me, and that's exactly what you're talking about right now. But no, I agree, man. It's like, again, I don't want to go down like the government rabbit hole, but like, yes, they should be focusing more on people's health and fitness for sure. If 48% of America is obese, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal, or 42% or whatever it is. But it's a large
30% in 2000.
Yeah, I think
30% in 2000.
Yeah,
45.
I forget what cardiovascular like diseases for the number, or like on the scale of death. But I know it's always like top 10.
It is. It's up there.
Yeah,
it's up there, man. It's so scary, dude. And it's but that's why I started to see you posting those videos. I was like, this is beneficial, man. Like, this is the stuff I need to see. And it's crazy, because once I start doing this and I'm starting to see more positivity out there, and maybe it's the algorithm that got me, you know what I mean? But like, I'm starting to see more positive stuff, and I love it.
It's great.
Love it. The one thing I want to ask you, dude, is your posts that you have, they're not shareable. Do you know that? It's like, I can't share just so you know, I don't know how you change that, bro. But there's no button down there to hit.
I can
share.
I'm sure I can figure out that on Instagram or Facebook, whatever it may be. But yeah, I can definitely do that.
Yeah, just and that way more people can see it, because if you don't,
that's my goal. My goal is to get people to share it. Again, like, so if there's 15,000 Orange Theory coaches, or 15,000 Orange Theories, I've been around for so long and I know so many coaches that now know so many coaches. So again, it's like a big social media web of people. I'm just trying to get people like, yo, use this and go make your coaches better, and like, here.
Yeah.
Go use it. So share it.
Yeah, make the thing shared. And what's your what's your Instagram handle and your Facebook stuff? Like, how can people find you so that they can keep digging into the stuff that you're talking about?
Instagram's just Pat Bryan Fitness. So it's my name, Pat Bryan, Bryan, and fitness. And then Facebook is Patrick Bryan, my full name. But yeah, Instagram is probably the easiest way to follow me. I'm on LinkedIn too. But Instagram, I'm going to try to do most of my posting on there. I post a lot of stories too, daily. Probably that's probably my biggest platform for social media, is on Instagram for sure.
Are you possibly on Instagram posting and then like just automatically doing Facebook?
That's what's doing it, I think. So I need to.
So on Facebook, You need to, I don't know what it is, dude, because I'm not, the hardest part about all this, dude, is the technology side. Like I'm not good at
You're
it.
learning. We're all learning, dude.
It's getting a little easier. But I just wanted to let you know, because I was like, I'm going to comment on this to tell him, but then I was like, I'm going to talk to him later. So I'll let him know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I seen you're doing, I think that's going to be beneficial to a lot of people. I think in today's world, especially now with everything going on, man, like keep doing what you're doing and don't let, I don't need to be the one to tell you that, dude. You've been doing it your whole life, not worrying about what other people think and just doing it, man. And if anybody's listening here and like you just gave you all your, a way to reach out to you, then I'm telling you, if you go and follow Pat, he's got very motivational and honestly, the things that you do are very simplified, which I like.
Yeah.
So like it's a very, you take like maybe a complex thing that looks complex and you break it down into very little things that anybody can kind of do to figure out exactly how to do it. So
that's what coaching is all about. And that's what I'm trying to, that's like my focus for this year. And most of the videos is just effective communication, because a lot of people hear you. And again, like the post I put today is like, it's not about what you say, it's what about other people do when you say
reaction. Yep. I love that.
For sure.
I like that, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I really do. And dude, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I enjoyed this conversation. I hope you did.
For sure.
I really do. And if you ever know anybody that wants to come on, man, just tell them to shoot me a text. I'll give you my number too.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I appreciate it, brother. I really do, man. Is there
Thanks
anything
for having me on. It's honestly a great experience. And again, like I think one of the coolest things about this is, again, like you said in the beginning, I haven't talked to you in 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, who knows how long. And it's just cool to hop on here and have a conversation. And awesome.
It is, man. It's fun, dude. It's fun. I'm not here to, people think I'm here to attack people. I'm not here to attack anybody. Nah, man, I'm really not. I just want to have conversations with people, man. I love having a conversation. Is there anything that you, anything else that you want to bring up that I didn't get touch on that you think is important?
Nah, just like we said today, try to take a first step, whatever it may be, like you're doing, like I'm doing, like we talked about your journey, my journey. Don't be afraid to do the thing you want to do. If you want to start a podcast, do it. Like,
that's it, man.
Especially if you're young, like, dude, just do it. Who cares if you mess up? Like, it don't matter. Like, it didn't cost you much to start the podcast. You got your mic, you got the setup, and you're good to go. Like, don't be afraid to take a risk. Like, for sure, you can just learn a lot about yourself. You'll get uncomfortable, and it'll pay off. Just go out there and get after it, as Goggins would say, right? Get after it.
Get after it. Get after it, man. I love it, dude. I love it. I came in here with out assuming I try not to assume anything about you, and I'm more than happy for you, brother. Like I think you're an inspiration. I think people should follow you. I think you have can provide a lot of value to a lot of people, brother.
Thanks, man. Right back at you. I can't wait to see the success of the podcast.
Thanks, man. Wherever it goes, dude. I'm just gonna try to do a little more episodes every week going forward. So
awesome.
If you ever want to come back on, dude, just let me know.
For sure.
All right, Pat, dude. Thanks again, brother. Have a good night.
I'll talk to you. You too, man.
See ya.